Hello, and welcome everyone to the 2023 America's Warrior Partnership State of the Organization Address. My name is Kaitlin Cashwell. I am the Director of Development with America's Warrior Partnership, and I am going to introduce our President and CEO, Jim Lorraine. Colonel Lorraine was a retired Air Force nurse, worked for SOCOM and founded the CARE Coalition, and I had the pleasure of him working as America's Warrior Partnership's founding CEO. I've known him for 12 years. He is a great mentor and leader. Thank you, Jim, for presenting to us today on the great work America's Warrior Partnership was able to do in 2023 because of our great partners.
Kaitlin, thank you so much for the introduction, and we have a great team at America's Warrior Partnership, and I'm really happy to share our success in 23 and to talk a little bit about 2024 as we go forward. 2023 was a great year for us. In 2023, we adopted the motto of together we can do better. It came out of my frustration of having a conversation with some partners that I felt like, you know, if we could just all come together and we could all work together, moving in the same direction, then we could do better than we are today. And my friend Paul Cucinato from Zero Mills said, Jim, it's together, comma, we can do better. And I said, you know what? That's exactly it. Together, we can do better. And it exemplifies the mission of America's Warrior Partnership, which is partnering with communities to prevent veteran suicide. In order to do that, in order to prevent veteran suicide, we have a 4-step plan. Many of you have heard of it, have seen it, but it really focuses around not necessarily organizing organizations, but it really focuses around the individual. It's a human-centered approach that focuses first on connecting to the veterans and understanding who they are, where they've been, and where they want to go in their life. Educating them about opportunities that they have to succeed, advocating for them when they hit a roadblock, not all the time because they can navigate the system, but advocating when they hit a barrier or roadblock to success, and then collaborating with everyone who is interested in helping military veterans, their families, caregivers, and survivors. Now, we just don't do that with the individual veterans. We also do that in the community. I just was recently in the Permian Basin of Texas, and they've got a great program run by the Permian Strategic Partnership that focuses at a community level on connecting with resources and programs that are there, educating the community about why it's so important to serve veterans and their families, advocating for their community. I've never been in a community that didn't say, I want to be the most veteran-friendly community in the United States, whether that's a company, whether that's a municipality, or whether that's a region or a county. Everyone wants to be the best. And I think that's great. But in order to do that, we have to do both. We have to focus on what organizations can do locally and nationally, and what the individual veterans really need to understand who the veterans are. And then, of course, in the end, collaborate openly and effectively towards the end state and the goal. This is our model. We approach veteran suicide prevention from a holistic. We don't see suicide prevention as a program. We see it as an outcome of really great work and really great programs. And what I mean by that is if you have a veteran who has a really has secure housing where they're comfortable in, has meaningful employment, they have a positive relationship with their friends and families, they've got outlets for recreational and physical activity, they have access to health care and behavioral health services, they have access to their earned benefits that they've earned from being a veteran or the spouse of a veteran, access to education. You know, our great friends at Student Veterans of America exemplify the access to education. And then spirituality, it's always important to have a belief in something larger. If you do, if you don't, that's okay. But most people believe in something. So the point is that if you can get a good balance in those areas, you can then, you do a good job in those programs, the suicide rate will come down, the quality of life will go up. Lots of studies that have shown this, data, proven data. Quality of life goes up, suicide rate goes down. But to do that, you have to do that one veteran at a time. We have a great IT tool, Warrior Serve, that has grown over the years and become more efficient and more effective for our communities. But we see that IT program and Warrior Serve as a tool to support the program work we do to improve the quality of life for veterans. And then in the end, the outcome is to prevent veteran suicide. Our programs work on a national level, and they work, I always say they have a national reach and a local touch. And the national reach is that just recently we were asked by Congress and invited by Congress to speak over the next 2 years about veterans issues to the congressional record, both on the Senate and the House side. We have our program called The Network that has a broad reach across all nations. Last year, and I'll speak to some of the metrics, last year we connected with over 8,000 veterans with an 89% success rate. But the point is in order to help someone, you have to know them. And so that national reach helps us know veterans on a large scale across the country. And then at the local level, we've got our great branch programs in 5 communities. And we have 4 affiliate programs where we provide technical assistance to them. And that's Buffalo, Upstate Warrior Solution in Greenville, South Carolina, the Warrior Alliance in Atlanta, and then the Tierney Center for Veteran Services in Orange County, California. The point is that what America's Warrior Partnership is providing is a beginning to end full spectrum service from the community level all the way up to the national services and national programs. I talked a little bit about the AWP network. The AWP network was created because what we realized was local community programs knew who to serve, but they didn't necessarily have all the resources. And national programs had a lot of resources, but they didn't know who to serve. And there was this big disconnect between what was needed and what was available. And so we created the network to be a place not only where communities could come and ask for help, advice, assistance, and then connection to national service providers, and where national programs could come to not only help local communities, but also refer their veterans who they're serving back into their local community. There's a lot of national resources that are available where the person goes off, leaves their community, they go off to another city, they receive treatment, and then they are sent back home to their local community. It's important that when they come back home to the local community, number one, the community knows that they've returned. They understand the changes and the progress that the veteran has made, and then they help continue the progress that has been made on the national level. And that's where the network comes in. So if you look at the arrows, they're bi-directional. What I'm most proud of with the network is that about 33% of the time, the problem's solved locally. We're able to talk with the community and find a resource that they weren't aware that existed locally. 33% of the time, it's just a national nonprofit, national program, or government program that's providing services to the veteran in their community. And then 33% of the time, it's a mix. National programs are providing a little bit of the support, local communities are providing a little bit of the support, and together they're doing better. This is the reach of the AWP network. We work with NACVSO, which is a great partner, and the National Association of State Directors of Veterans Affairs to better serve veterans throughout the country. In every state, there is a established, functional, effective nonprofit that's working. Whether it's still serving veterans in Huntsville, Alabama, or whether it's the Veteran One-Stop Center of Western New York up in Buffalo, as an example, there are organizations throughout the country that do this, and we're connected with them, and we're proud to serve right alongside of them. We have a program called the Corporate Veteran Initiative. We started this because 70% of the veterans in the United States are in the workforce. And what we noticed from doing work at the local level is it was tough to connect the veterans and build a relationship with them because they were so busy. They were working full time. They had their families. They had soccer on the weekends. They had other activities that were going on. And what we found was that if we could engage the veteran within the company and build a relationship with them, it would allow us to better serve the veteran, improve their quality of life, but also importantly, to improve the quality of life of that community, of that company, and help them to understand the value of the veterans. I always felt like the best recruiter of a company is a veteran who's really happy about being there, because they're going to tell all their friends, this is the place you need to come work because they have your back. And so what we do as America's Warrior Partnership is help those companies take care of veterans. While a company like Walmart may have great services and sell, and they're the leaders in the world on the retail side, they may not know everything about how to serve veterans. That's where together we can do better. We have another study called Operation Deep Dive, and we're proud to have Duke University School of Medicine, and that's what that picture is. And that's Coach John Shire from Duke University's basketball team. We partner with Duke to better understand veteran suicide. And now I need you to understand that Operation Deep Dive, the focus of Operation Deep Dive isn't just about numbers. It's about taking a different approach to how we do suicide prevention. And it stems out of my experience in Special Operations Command, where we really focused on how do we find the enemy or the terrorist using data to really better understand where they were going to be and when they were going to be somewhere, so that we could then engage them for the better of the country. Operation Deep Dive is the reverse. I thought if we can use big data to do that on the combat side, why can't we use big data to better understand the veterans who's at greatest risk for taking their life, or has the highest probability of taking their life in a given community or in a state or in a region, so that we can say the veteran with the limited resources we have, the veteran who's at greatest risk looks like this person. Let's go find them. They live in this area. They have this military background. This is their demographic. How can we go find them ahead of the crisis and focus on who is going to take their life and why they're going to take their life, not just on how they're going to take their life. How is important, but it's not the full calculus. You have to have the who, the why, and the how. And with Operation Deep Dive, we're able to do that. And we're fortunate to have a great research partner in Duke University School of Medicine. Community integration is where we really cut our teeth. And this picture really speaks volumes. We're one of our communities, and we'll see it on a following slide, that we have one of our branches is the Navajo Nation of Arizona, New Mexico, and Utah. We're blessed and privileged to serve alongside these great people and all the people through all our branch communities. Again, our focus in the community is to connect, educate, advocate, and collaborate. We do that very efficiently and effectively. And our focus is, how do I build a relationship with the veterans, especially those who are not enrolled with the VA, which is about 50% of the veterans in the United States. How do I build a relationship with them ahead of the crisis? How do I leverage volunteer opportunities to find purpose? How do I get them to work by, through, and with our partners to improve the quality of life of not only other veterans and their families, but the community at large? Again, these are our local communities. That's Kaitlin Cashwell down on the bottom right. She was part of a group that went up to Indianapolis and gave a great experience to a bunch of veterans who went to the Indianapolis Speedway for an event. But you can see we have Alaska, the Navajo Nation, Indianapolis, Indiana, the Panhandle of Florida, and the Permian Basin of Texas. Okay, skip one. Probably one of the most important slides. I'm glad I went back, realized it. This is our impact in 2023. all the talk that I've just provided, everything I've said leads me to this, and this is, I am a person who's biased towards action. Last year, we served over 8,000 veterans. I want to double that this year. We need the resources to do that. We have the infrastructure, we have the model to scale, but I want to double that. Because here's what we've done: 1,300 counties throughout the United States and all 50 states and territories. We've got a great partnership with Guam, and we look forward to continue to work with other territories. But 89% of the time that a veteran comes to us or a community comes to us with an issue, we solve it. And when we solve it, we do a survey on the backside. 95% customer satisfaction isn't bad. Here's what's shocking. In the last year, in 2023, we screened for suicidal ideation. And our team is great at making it not be uncomfortable. But 15% of the time, the veterans that we served had a suicidal ideation in the recent past. 94% of them weren't seeking mental health or behavioral health services, they were seeking something else. The most of the time, what we found this year is that it's been economic insecurity, inability to afford car, gas, home payments, etc. How food, it's a trickle down. It's really, everyone talks about food insecurity and other insecurities, but really it's economic insecurity. And so one of the things that we also see is an increased rate of suicidal ideations. And what I'm proud of is that those that we've connected with and those that we've done the intakes that have had suicidal ideations, we maintain a relationship with them. And none, to this date, none have taken their life. And we work hard on that. We work hard to ensure that the veteran knows that someone has their back. And then we stay in touch with them. And this is all veterans, that we stay in touch with them and build a relationship. We have a growing national partnership. One of our biggest partners that I'm most proud of right now is Student Veterans of America. We're partnered with Student Veterans of America. They provide the education for our veterans that we have, and run those hurdles for us. On the other hand, we take care of the other pieces, whether it's access to benefits, housing, employment, education, etc. We work with our partners to do that. I'm very proud of it. Our priorities in 2024 shouldn't surprise you based on what I've just talked about. Our focus is to decrease veteran suicide by working with communities throughout the United States. And we define a community as a county, a city, a state, or a company. So if you're a company and you're on the call, we want to work with you. We want to help you improve the quality of life for the veterans in your workforce. We want to raise awareness of themes impacting veterans. Economic insecurity is one of them right now. Suicide prevention is another. Access to earned benefits are others, whether it's a VA disability benefit. The other piece is the PAC Act. We want to make sure that veterans understand what the PAC Act is and how it applies to them, and what they should do and what they shouldn't do. We provide an enormous amount of training, and then we want to develop a diverse and sustainable resource partnerships. This is partnerships not just in donations to America's Warrior Partnership, but it's partnerships and service, so that we can be more efficient in how we help serve and connect veterans to resources that improve their quality of life. We've been advocating for years. This year we did quite a bit. We were on Capitol Hill talking about everything from the Staff Sergeant Fox grant, which we're blessed to have received, to VA policies that, whether it's access to care, community care, we've done a lot. And we're fortunate to have a great board member in Medal of Honor recipient Clint Romachet, who isn't afraid to speak his mind and let folks know what he's thinking about, what he's thinking and what other veterans are concerned with. Our marketing and media have done a great job. These are just two examples of broadcast segments: Fox and Friends on Fox and the Today Show. Here's the outcome. On Fox and Friends, we received 123 requests. 7 of them were suicidal ideations. On the Today Show, we received 78. 5 of them were suicidal ideations. These are people who have no idea where to go to. There's no one stop, there's no one phone call, there's no one place to touch, and that's what we hope to be. That veterans can come to us seeking assistance. After we understand the veteran, our next call is to the community to help them understand how they can better serve the veteran and how we can work together to improve the veteran's quality of life. I want to make everyone aware of an event that we're hosting on August 7th and 8th. It's the evening of the 7th and it's all day on the 8th in Washington, D.C. It's in partnership with the U.S. Chamber of Commerce and Hiring Our Heroes. The focus is really on how business is a catalyst to community integration, how businesses can make a difference in communities when they partner with local community-based programs, whether it's a county veteran service officer or whether it's an established program like Veterans Bridge Home out of North Carolina. The point is that what we're really focused on is how do we bring these two entities together to get them to work together, not only at the national level, but at the local level, where there's a Wells Fargo in every community, where there's a Walmart, where there might be a Peraton or another government contractor that's in that community. How do we get them to work together to improve how communities better serve their veterans? So please join us August 7th and 8th in Washington, D.C. We'd love to have you, and the more communities that we can participate, the better. I also love the picture in the bottom right is my good friend Maureen Casey from Syracuse University, who hosted us last year. I can't thank them enough for all their support. In the end, I've got to thank you for partnering with us. Thank you for being on the call. We have great partners all over the United States. We just need to come together and be rowing in the same direction, which is, in my opinion, improving the quality of life for veterans and their families, which lifts everyone up. So with that, I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to everyone who's on the call. I want to say thank you to Kaitlin and our whole team. And I'd also I'm looking at these pictures here, these great pictures, and the bottom right-hand side, there's Tell Right and Pure Talk. They've been very supportive to us, and then Kevin Schmiegel from Zero Mills. I could go through the list, and Bonnie Carroll, but thank you to everyone for all your help and all your support. Kaitlin, I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Jim, and thank you everyone for joining us. That concludes this session. We will be publishing the State of the Organization soon here, but tickets are on sale for the symposium on our website. If you would like to partner, volunteer, donate, join our mission, we'd love for you to reach out to us. Have a great day.